Vigilante Williamson here with the 14th episode of my show, The Vigilante Williamson Show. It is December 5th, Saturday, December 5th. And I hope everyone's having a blessed Saturday. I'll take off the headphones. Only kind of have that to monitor the little countdown as I'll let people gather in. I want to thank everybody who has been showing me love this week. A lot of love for the I Am Not Starfire video this week. And I appreciate it. And all these podcasts, I've gotten supporters. I've gotten people even during the streams. And I want to thank everyone. I appreciate it. On today's episode, got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about selection fraud. We got to talk about BLM and Time's Up being the grifters that we all thought they were. And we also have to talk about the entertainment industry pretty much ending its own existence. But before I get into the podcast, there's two bits of housekeeping I wanted to get into. I first wanted to apologize to Justin Proper. I was on the Wes Moody webcast Wednesday, whatever Wednesday. Shout out to Wes Moody. And during it, race got brought up, and I sort of ranted. I very much ranted, and I deserved to give him an apology. I still helped me on time. Yes, you did. I was pretty late because I kept delaying it because of stupid stuff. So yeah, you just made it. Appreciate it. I appreciate you showing up, brother. But yeah, I owe Justin Proper a bit of an apology. He didn't really say anything, and I just sort of spazzed, and I didn't really even explain my point properly. Basically, I'm not with the infant. I don't know. I'm pronouncing the word wrong, but it's when you make people out to be children. And I feel like throughout when you talk about the 60s, a lot of times that happens when it comes to Black people. And I just wanted to express myself properly and say he said nothing really to trigger what I said. It was just my own feelings. And some of what I wanted to say got out. I talked about how a lot of regulation has hurt Black people in poor communities in general. My whole point was just that things happen at their best naturally, and I did not express that point properly, and I just wanted to give him an apology. And I want to talk a little bit about my Mandalorian review before getting into everything, giving a little bit more time for people to come in as I talk about my podcast, or as I get into the podcast, because for some reason I'm the only person who didn't like this episode. And I almost want to double down because I don't understand why I'm the only person. I think Anna from that Star Wars girl is the only like major YouTuber I've seen that doesn't like it. But I thought it was tonally off, and I didn't think, even though I like Robert Rodriguez as a director, I didn't like his take. And what it came down to is this episode had no stakes. Everything about this episode was about Baby Yoda, which should have been like about the connections for Baby Yoda and Mando being broken. And instead it was just kind of a slapstick action scene that was like 10 minutes long. And I just didn't like it. And people saying it's the best episode, I think it kind of diminished Boba Fett because Boba Fett had no character, good or bad. I think the mystery was what made Boba Fett. And even though he looked good in the episode, I think, in the first sentence he said more dialogue in that, conversation, that first conversation than he had the entire original trilogy, and he lost a bit of his mystique. So that I just kind of want to say that for my reviews. It looks like it's just you and me, Finner, which I appreciate. So I'm going to get into the podcast, and before getting into a lot of heavy stories, I'm going to get into something a little bit sort of lightweight, a little bit of gender bending. You may or may not have heard this. Plastic Man is going to be gender swapped for a female-led film. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Plastic Man is receiving new life as a film project. It's not going to be the wisecracking, stretchy guy everyone is used to, with a report saying we're in for a gender-bending twist in the character's first live-action cinematic outing. This sounds like it's going to make a lot of money. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Plastic Man is being switched to a female-led vehicle this early stage in development. It's not known if that means the title and names will get changed to suit the new direction, but we'll see. Tasked with drafting a new script on this new track is writer Kat Vasco, whose biggest claim to fame, air quotes for fame, is writing unproduced screenplays that made the list of the annual survey known as the Blacklist, or the most liked scripts not greenlit. So she basically doesn't have anything that she's produced. Apart from that minor accolade, Vasco worked on a failed adaptation of Boom Studios' Lumberjanes and doesn't have anything notable to her name except 4 projects currently in development, meaning this person does not have anything produced despite working on this Plastic Man. So this is yet another, it seems like it's every day we have yet another gender swap. And what did I want to get into? Because there was an article that linked. I didn't even know this. Apparently, character in Black Adam is supposed to be transgender. It's like, why? Why can't any of these characters exist in their original form? And I wanted to kind of get into the comments in this Bounty and the comics article. This because they're pretty funny. After the success of Kamala Khan and the Avengers game, I can't see any reason why this movie will fail. Then more, this doesn't like race or gender swap characters, period. I like this one. Unless Plastic Man disguises himself as a woman to infiltrate an enemy base and seduce one of the guards. If so, doing so, they'll be surprised more than one. And as you can see, this ma'am here is looking. If recent history has taught us anything, this film will be a runaway success. Clearly, like this one, a gender swap movie, how stunning and original. Yet I feel I've read this all before. What could possibly go wrong? It's deja vu. Now, this is probably the most important article. I take this seriously if this wasn't the 10,000th story since Justice League came out about a DC film in development at Warner Brothers. So, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't come out. Hopefully it does not see the light of day. I don't actually think that it will, but it just shows you that Hollywood is not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They will continue to gender and race swap characters for its own sake. Now, because this writer has everything they attach to them not being produced, I actually don't think this will see the light of day. I think this is such an unappealing project. Plastic Man, even as a character, doesn't really seem that appealing, especially because it seems like it's going to require a lot of CG and things have to get cheap, as I'll get into later as the ending story for the Hollywood stuff. But nobody wants to see this. Fair to Ice Wolf. Gender swaps never work because there's a slap in the face of the fans that actually have money. Exactly. And Kamala Khan, as it was said in the comments, was not successful. She isn't even really a gender swap. She's a sort of new character. They had a Miss Marvel, but they created a new Miss Marvel because they made her Captain Marvel. We all know how that went. And they created this new character with similar power set, and it went nowhere. No one wants to see this. No one wants to see this. But they won't not stop. And we are not done with the women empowerment. Vandy in Georgia is canceled after the Commodores cannot meet roster requirements. And I could have got the video, but I'm so nervous about being copyright. And there's actually a video of the quarterback of Vanderbilt saying that there were people who had tears in their eyes when this woman, they won't stop talking about Sarah Fuller, kicked that terrible squib kick that may have been designed squib kick, whatever it was. But the game, this upcoming game is canceled because they don't have enough players. Cole Kubelik, I don't know how to pronounce that name, reports that the Vanderbilt, Georgia game has been canceled as of Tuesday. Interim coach Todd Fitch wasn't sure if he'd had enough players to field a team. Many of his players would contemplate opting out of the trip to Athens. Let's actually link to there and talk a little bit about that. What does it say? Vandy player. Yeah, there were players on the SEC message board that they didn't want to travel for the game because Sarah Fuller gave them a halftime speech as they were getting blown out. They've had all this attention to Sarah Fuller, and we see that the game is canceled. And they are making it. They're saying that it was canceled due to the COOF, but we know better. There were rumblings outside of the SEC or the SEC boards. These players being ashamed. What the hell was that? What do we got here? More Plastic Man. Plastic Man ain't that much of an exciting character. I mean, he's fun, but I think they should only go with putting him in anime and stuff. I agree. Because Plastic Man, he's not. He's an expensive character that nobody knows of because it's going to cost a lot to do the CG to make him look good. If you don't have it, he's going to look goofy, and he's going to look goofy anyway. He's a goofy character. I don't really even. Yeah, Plastic Man. Like they haven't even done a Fantastic Four movie with Reed Richards and all. I mean, they did the two terrible ones, but like they haven't tried to attack that again. I don't think that power set really lends itself to cool stuff. To touch back on that last story, because got to get all the comments in. I appreciate you, friend, and I appreciate any and everyone who watches this live or otherwise. Oh, he's caught up because StreamYards is in the future. This team will become a laughing stock in the long future. I mean, if you put your name out there like this, people will lose interest. Yeah, I've talked about in previous podcasts that because of this, the boosters are going to spend less money into this organization, to this college team. A lot of college athletics, especially for a school like this, who doesn't have a storied history of college athletics, it's all the boosters. They get so much from the school, they get so much from the NCAA, but most of it's going to be the boosters. And who wants to pay for this? And to paraphrase a conversation I had with Vigilante Williamson, my brother, which is not his real name, obviously, he said they're all simps because he hadn't heard the story I was telling him about it. He said they are all simps, the biggest group of simps. And he's absolutely right. They are simps. To have tears in their eyes for this kick, and then to come around after all the attention comes out, oh, we don't want to play. I already covered in previous podcasts how Riley, and they have it here, Riley Guy, he was the kicker from last year. He is still in the school. He still goes to the school. He's a med student. He still has eligibility. And apparently they were attempting to get him on the roster, but enough players did not meet the requirements, and they're saying it's because of Koof. I don't think so. And keep this in mind. While this is happening, BYU and Coastal Carolina are doing everything they can to make sure that they play a game. So if they wanted this game to happen, if the players were really behind Sarah Fuller, tears in their eyes like the quarterback said, why wouldn't they want to play this game? Why wouldn't they want more people to see Sarah Fuller kick? And I want to give this message to whatever feminist troll that may come across this one day. I haven't really had too many trolls, or just a feminist in general, someone who doesn't understand why there's sense, why are you browbeating a woman for, oh, this is just a message board stuff. Sorry about that. But why are you browbeating them for having a woman kick? This doesn't help masculinity or femininity. The example this sets is you as a man should be doing everything you can to put yourself beneath a woman and over exaggerate her accomplishments, because that's all that has been done here. This is not going to integrate women. The one of the worst parts, and this is going into why it destroys femininity or women, is there are women who could kick well enough to be useful on a college campus. It's not outside the realm of physical capabilities. You know what? Maybe I should even find a video. Let me see if I can find a video while live. Crapper. Hopefully I don't knock my damn camera off with this cord. Let me actually take myself off camera so you don't see me awkwardly rummaging around looking. But there are girls who can kick football a lot further. Sorry. I'm sure you can hear it. Here you go. Here you go. No thanks. You want to see a girl that can kick? It's a high school girl, by the way. A high school girl who could kick field goals.
Hell yeah! Hitting the game winner under the Friday night lights. It doesn't get much better than that. It is a moment that's extra special because she did it.
Local 12's Brad Underwood has the story of a six.
You didn't even hear this story. This 6. I just found this right now live. Sorry for anyone who's watching. There's a high school girl kicking game-winning field goals like Adam Vinatieri and shit. You don't even know who she is. Yeah, I never heard this story until I looked. I just knew it existed. I just knew, and I'll come back on camera. I just knew that there were women who there are girls who can kick game-winning field goals right now. It can be productive for a college team. But no, you're going to hear about Sarah Fuller. You're going to hear about that. I know it was a terrible video from the sideline. But there are high school girls that can kick game-winning field goals. But no, let's talk about this dot. Squib kicking, how stunning and brave she is. There are people who want to give her a Heisman vote, and I hope she gets one. I hope you destroy sports fabric for virtual signaling, saying, hey, fake things, fake pandering gestures are more important than the competition of the game. Please do so. Please, somebody vote for her for Heisman. I want you to do it. I double dog dare you. Vote for somebody who is such a great example that her team quit on her because of what you guys did in the media. Please do so. All right, time to play the Shinra music. We got to talk about the establishment. And I hope I can get my thoughts across. First, everyone's favorite, Fancy Pelosi, defends her rejecting the Trump administration's $1.8 trillion stimulus offer after throwing support behind the relief package half of its size. Now, depending on what you think, that may have been a good thing. But it's something, at least that Business Insider, which is semi-mainstream, because they've been covering the fact that she's held up stimulus up. And never forget, the government told us to shut down. The government told us that we cannot go to work. We cannot have our businesses. And Finner, because I hate this delay. Okay, now that's a girl that should be on the team as a kicker. They should be giving these positions to people that earn it, not weak-minded fools that have no problem being a statue of lies. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point, Finner. That there are girls that can accomplish something that is productive, especially kicking a game-winning field goal, no matter how the distance, is a mentally tough thing that not everyone can accomplish. We have seen grown men at the professional level kick field goals or miss that field goal. And that's my point. There are girls who could be productive on a football team, but that's not what they want to push. But let's get back to this mess. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So you have the stimulus. Now, did I have the better? Hopefully I got the article up. That was a calculator. Oh yeah. Never forget for the stimulus that big businesses got most of the loans for the PPP loans. And on top of that, this 1.8 trillion and stimulus. Well, we only remember 2.6 trillion was the original amount. And let me actually take this out. This shows the math. What happens if you add it up? Actually, I'll keep it. So if you add up both stimulus packages, the one they didn't give and the one that we got, if you divide it by just 350 million Americans, we all could have got 12 racks combined. If you take off this package and just go with what happened, what's this plus? We all could have got 7,400 combined. That's not how it happened, though. We all got 1,200 and a kick in the ass. Most of that money went to corporations that were the only ones allowed to operate. Google lied to you, to quote Kanye. Then they made $37 billion while censoring the truth, while Webster's can change definitions on you like we're in 1984. They get to monetize people like me who don't have that much of a reach, even though I can't monetize me. They made $37 billion. Amazon, while every other business was closed, they made $90 billion. So most of the stimulus money we did get went to them, because where are you going to shop? Went to Amazon, went to Walmart. So regardless of how you feel about the stimulus, you may make the argument that her blocking this stimulus is a good idea. I always thought Nancy Pelosi was an alien prepared for invasion. That's why she broke quarantine to give her alien contact or the barber information to begin the invasion. Where there's shit. I think they're all working together to fuck us. But yeah, Nancy Pelosi definitely looks like a fucking alien, man. But you can make the argument that her blocking this stimulus was a good thing because all it is going to expand the wealth gap. And never forget, a quarter of the month, all the money that has ever existed was printed this year, and most of it was given to billionaires. Hey, hello, Slasher McSplitter. Remember you from West Moody. Appreciate you showing up. Just ranting about our government. We'll get into the end of the movie industry toward the end. But yeah, most of that stimulus money, if you look at the PPP money, this is because I can't find what happened to the actual stimulus money. Like you see it, it got funneled to this government program or that, but you don't really see exactly the money. It's a little bit easier to track the PPP money. And it shows that these companies filth out. All these companies did was scam it. That's where most of that money went to. While the actual small businesses that we need to stay open, they were told to close. Maybe they got a little bit of the money, not enough to cover everything. They're still being told to lock down. And regardless of what you feel about this disease, and I am not somebody who denies its existence, it's definitely a real thing and it's serious. But what we've done for this, and I just saw a stat that tuberculosis kills 1.5 million a year, and we've never locked down for that. We have the greatest transfer in wealth that has ever happened in human history. And on top of that, I'm talking about this deep state. You got this crap, and I cannot play the video. I'm not demonetized. I'm never going to be monetized, but I'll get even more jacked up than I want. But if you haven't seen the video, here are the screenshots of our selection process. Because I really just want to make a bigger picture for what the government as a whole, regardless of whether you're orange man good guy, orange man bad guy, Republican, Republican or Democrat, whichever one you love. I just want you to realize that they told us our election doesn't matter. They're jerking off in our faces saying your vote doesn't matter. And we can tell you what to do and we can tell you what to watch because Hollywood is going to get bailed out. And on top of that, we can print all your money, give you tons of inflation. So neo-feudalism is on its way. Take it because most went to corporations. Give you a piece of it and make you have to give it to us for the stuff you need. That's what our government did in the long and short. But this is what, let me see. Yeah, corruption is very strong this year. Corruption is that's what this year's been all about. Corruption. And if you thought voting for the orange man, who remember approved that stimulus, that 2.6 stimulus package, and wanted more stimulus, that actually is one of the few things that he did. You can make the argument that was actually fascist, given how it connected and gave the corporations that benefited from all that stimulus even more power than they already have. But I mean, look at these screenshots. First off, let's go to stop. These are where the Republican observers are. They can't really observe what happens, but whatever. You have a woman telling everyone that everyone has to leave. There's no main break. And then you see everyone, the observers are gone. And then they start bringing up boxes. You see this. Or suitcase, really. They start bringing up suitcases of ballots from under the table. And they go to work. And this is being fact checked, by the way. This is being fact checked. Let's see. It's Georgia Sun. You see some of the stuff I've tried to. Hey, we'll get into that. Because it's not actually a son-in-law. But if you look up this voting, it's fact checked. Look at this. Recount firms Joe Biden won. I check. Video doesn't show election fraud in Georgia. This is what you're being told. Do as you're told. There's nothing to see here. This is We are in North Korea, bro. We are in 1984. We are in the nightmare that you think we are right now. Not yesterday, not right now. It's not coming down the line. It's here right now. The state printed your money, gave it to their buddies in corporate America, argued over it so you can all be divided. So if you vote the wrong way, how can you be friends with this person? How can you still be a family? How dare you? Got us to be divided, took your money, printed it, gave it to the corporation, made sure you didn't get enough to get help. Then when you try to vote on it, it jerked off in your face. And they're now trying to tell you there's nothing to see here and trying to tell you what your own eyes tell you is not true. I've not really touched politics in a while because this stuff pisses me off. But this is what the state did. This is why people are against the state. This is why people are against the government. How can there not be a bigger investigation? It's all there. It doesn't make sense. I have family all over the world watch the election and even they see something smelling like smoke. Well, because this government is not real. This is a communist. This is the communist fascist state that it thinks it is, that we've all been afraid of. And they can show you that. That's why it's even more damning. They can show you this in front of your face and say, you're not going to do anything. By the way, if you want to go out your house, make sure your vaccine card is up to date or else you're not allowed. That is what we have. That is the state. That is the state of the world. And that's why I titled this podcast, The End of the World as We Know It, because this is the end of democracy. This is the end of capitalism. We are going to end a state. Our money system is jacked up. This is the end of, our government spending. Because remember, when this $1 trillion stimulus does get approved, most of us are not going to get the money. And socialism is coming. It's already here. And they've done everything they can to create the one state government of the United States and a socialistic government of the United States. And I wish I had an answer. I don't. A lot of people are talking, we'll do a revolution. I mean, I see people screaming that, but I don't see how it's going to happen. And on top of stuff like this, it's funny. You have the governor, Senator Lawler's campaign member. This person is actually linked to the governor of Georgia's daughter. They passed in a car crash. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. You can be the judge of what happened there. But that is the state that we live in. That is the government that we live in the United States. So, yeah. Oh, let's talk about more corruption because we're not done with corruption. And I'll see is anyone else in the chat. He just Finner. And hopefully I haven't scared off Slash and McSplitter. Hopefully he's still here. Because I know there's a little bit of delay. So I just want to give, a little bit of a time to answer anything that shows up. We are talking to two of the greatest hashtags known to man, right? Okay, we do have stuff coming up. Look, I've seen communism and felt this first. Why do people think immigrants went to America? Because communism and socialism don't work. True democracy may have its flaws, but it works. True democracy is not allowed anymore because there are a lot of useful idiots in this country, Fenner, who are born here, who take for granted what they have, what they were given, and think other people earned it. Hey, Slash and Split, I'm chilling. Cool. Just chill out. Just cool, then. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate anyone who's watching this podcast either now or in the future. I do get a lot of people saying, oh, yeah, I watched the playbacks. I appreciate it. The past few weeks of people checking me out has been really great. Really great. So let's get into these two hashtags. BLM and Time's Up. I remember when Black Lives Matter premiered as a hashtag before it was an organization. It was all Trayvon Martin had happened, and I didn't know he was his dad was a Freemason, and it was all, oh man, fighting the power. But you know what it's all about? The answer to all your questions, regardless of what they are, is always money. And if it's not that, it's power. Because BLM, the local chapters, the ones who actually do any of the good that gets done, that BLM has, they're not getting money. So all this money that's being raised is not going to the families or the victims. We know that. It's not going to the local chapters. We know that. And we know that Act Blue, the financial processing center for BLM, also is involved with the Democratic Party. So where do you think the money is going for BLM? And here's what it is. Let's just read some of the story. Some Black Lives Matter chapters are revolting against the organized movement's national arm, same arm who had to change their website because they hate black men, accusing leaders of providing little financial transparency and not much in the way of financial support. 10 local chapters issued a statement on Monday outlining concerns regarding financial disclosure, decision-making, accountability since the establishment of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. Despite years of effort, no acceptable internal process of accountability has ever been produced by BLMGN, and these recent events have undermined the efforts of chapter seeking to democratize its processes and resources, the statement said. Messages to the Black Lives Matter Global Network was not immediately returned. I wonder why. Local chapters signed onto the statement include Washington, Chicago, San Diego, Oklahoma City, Philadelphia, Hudson Valley in New York, Indianapolis, Denver, and Vancouver, Washington, and New Jersey. So yeah. And this is a little bit breakdown of the funds. In June, the Daily Caller reported that the BLM Global Network spent millions and millions between July 2017 and June 2019 on consultants, staff compensation. Specifically, spent nearly $900,000 on travel, $1.6 million on consulting, and $2.1 million on staff in 2017, 2018, and 2019. So, if you support BLM, that's what you're supporting, them to travel. Ooh, excuse me, that was professional. For them to travel and to consult. You need a consulting to consult on the travel. The figures don't show other types of financial support given to local chapters. BLM Global Managing Director Kaylee Scales told the news outlet, I haven't seen this person, but I'm not saying there aren't people. Kaylee does not strike me as a BLM managing director. I'm just saying that. The numbers you have for the prior year do not reflect, for example, the in-kind support for chapters, the fundraising directed to chapters, and a programmatic assistance to chapters that would not show up as direct grants on the audit financials. That work was carried out by employees and consultants to BLM. So basically, the money's been fucked. Sold, not for sale. That is a lie. The lie detector test has determined that is a lie. Mr. What's his name? Hawk. I forgot this guy's name. Hank. It was something fake revolutionary. But yeah, BLM, all the money is fake. It's not going to anything. It's not even going to the local chapters. Same thing with this Time's Up. Time's Up for Time's Up. Hollywood's Time's Up organization is set to fight sexual harassment. They're fighting the sexual harassment with spending all their money on bullshit, just like the prior charity, so-called charity. These Marxist charities are trying to destroy society, spending all the money on BS. Okay, I digress. The Time's Up organization set to fight sexual harassment with Reese Witherspoon, Amy Schumer, and Brie Larson, and other luminaries. I would not call any of these people luminaries. Only Reese Witherspoon had any talent. Spent the bulk of their donations on executive salaries and only a fraction on legal costs to help victims, public records show. The organization, which is comprised of Time's Up Foundation and Time's Up Now, raised $3.6 million in 2018. Its founding year, but spent $1.4 million of that on salaries and only $300,000 on a legal defense fund, which is the whole point. So again, they raised $3.6 million and only $300,000 was used for its intended purpose. my eyes and I see this crap. Okay, it's another one. Ever since I was little, I dreamed about going to America and making comedy cartoons to bring laughter and joy. But now with all this crap, I'm just scared every day, and every time I open my eyes, I see this crap. Well, there's some good news. If you want to do animation, Fender, I have some good news with the closing story, believe it or not. Greeting programs. Hey, Mando Merc, Cast in the Shadows. Nice to see you. Or appreciate it. I appreciate it. But I'm gonna bring it back up, Fender, because I'll foreshadow a little bit. Because my closing story, I'm gonna talk about how the entertainment industry is basically killing itself with this HBO Max decision. But you know what that means? In this flat world, if you don't want to come to America, it's a great place. Don't let everything, run you off for it. But if you don't want to come, and I'm not sure the infrastructure in your country, but you can make money. If you want to do animation, you don't need a big company anymore. You don't need to go to Warner Brothers or all these little stupid ass Hollywood fakes. We're talking about the Time's Up thing now. The only reason this had legitimacy was because of the damn casting couch, and it is a real thing. Oh, you want to move up the ladder? Well, take off your pants. That's how Hollywood has worked. But and if it's not literal, it's figurative. We see all this woke stuff. A lot of it's a cult. But if you want to do animation, Finner, you don't have to go to Hollywood anymore. You can connect with like-minded individuals online. I would say pound the pavement online, and get your stuff out there. Start a YouTube. If I know animation is a time-consuming process, but you have to draw anything you can draw to get your name out there. I mean, my little growth for this community has been great. Mando Merc does logos. We are the new entertainment industry. That's how I'm going to end the podcast. That's my good news. I usually end with good news to foreshadow. We are the new entertainment industry. So if you don't want to come to America, the world is flat. You can do everything digitally, collaborate with anyone else in the animation process digitally. You do not have to come here and subject yourself to this BS to be successful and to entertain people and to bring joy to people. Fenner Ice Wolf. So don't think you have to. And that's if there's a silver lining to this podcast, it's that you don't have to deal with this BS. You don't have to go through. Look at these fakes. This Amy Schumer's never been that thin. That's airbrush. But you don't have to deal with these fakes anymore. Let's just get into that story. We're talking about it. Let's just be about it. Wonder Woman 1984, following Wonder Woman 1984, Warner Brothers is going to send all of its 2021 movies to theaters and HBO Max. And it's really 2 years worth of movies because they had everything this year and everything next year. Because remember, they kept delaying films. What did Finner say? So, dude, don't worry. I'm going to America. I may be scared, but if I let my fear dominate me, I'm not better than these woke losers. I appreciate it. Animation is my dream and writing is my love. I get thousands. We'll see what the next comment is. Hopefully it's thousands in support and what you call it. But independent animation is going to be the future. There's some animation YouTube channels that are eating right now. So that the point of me talking about this, what do we got here, Finner? Get thousands. Scripts, American cartoons saved my childhood, so I'm always going to try help it get back on its feet. Okay, well, we appreciate you when you come here, bro. And don't let these woke idiots do anything. Don't let them impact you. There are going to be the independent entertainment industry is the future of the entertainment industry because they've signed their death blow by sending all these movies to HBO Max. HBO Max, a platform that barely has 8 million subscribers. HBO Max, a platform that apparently has 40 million plus people that has free access to HBO Max but haven't activated it. That's how much interest is in this platform. And they just sent every single movie they have. They just sent every single movie down to this platform to hope and pray that it gets enough money. Let me see. Only need a good animator. I would say look out there. There are good animators. There are good animators out here. And I would say collaborate with people in this collective, the Fandom Menace collective. There are a lot of talented people out within it. And so, yeah, I hope you can find a good animator for your script. Another thing, I'm not sure if you're in the comments, I always check out Sweetcast. There's, you see the crowdfunding thing with comics. I want to see your animation one day or your cartoons one day, Finner. I bet you're a talented person, man. So I would say look around, and there's an animator looking for your script. Trust me, there's an independent animator who is looking for a writer to collaborate with, like you. And I would say pound the pavement for that guy, and you'll find him. In that way, you won't have to go through this broken industry that's killing itself. It's literally killing itself because all of these movies are not going to be upcharged. It's just going to be the basic $15.99 charge. And let me get to the calculator. I want to show you the math that all of these dweebs are hoping on. Because let's say $15.99. So they're hoping for something like this. You want to display the number? Oh, you don't display the number. What a wuss. But that's the math. $15.99, so it's like 75 million subscribers per month. It equals that number, a big multiple billions. That's what they want. But they have a long way to get there. And it also costs. All of this content costs. They've just given away billions of dollars. They devalue all of these movies. They're all now just Netflix movies. They're on a broke down Netflix. That isn't really Netflix. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate you supporting me. I want to support you, man. Can't wait to see your cartoons that one day. Industry is killing itself, no doubt. Streaming ain't gonna make them anything close to things on the theaters. No, it is not. And the worst part is streaming is a stopgap technology. I've compared this to the ringtones. You were probably not old enough, but back in the day, the mid to late 2000s, when Kazaa and Bearshare was destroying the music industry, they thought selling ringtones on phones would save it. That's why you had the ringtone rap industry. That's why Soulja Boy would probably be one of the most notable people who survived that. And ringtones was a stopgap because the real future was Pandora and Spotify and Tidal. That was the actual future for the entertainment industry or the music industry. But they didn't know that. They put everything behind ringtones, and it didn't cost them nearly as much as this is going to cost HBO Max and Warner Brothers and AT&T. Streaming is a stopgap technology, believe it or not. Yes, Netflix is extremely popular, and I'll get into a little bit of their financials to end off the show. But to me, this is the future. Streaming like I'm streaming. The interactivity is what the future is. Because I can do this to finish comment, talk to him, talk about what he's saying, and interact with him. That's something you can't get from Netflix. That's something you can't get from HBO Max. It's something you get from YouTube and Twitch, is why those platforms have grown up. There's this unique sensation that comes with watching movie in the theaters with other people. Prove me wrong. I cannot, Finner. I cannot. The theater experience is going to not die. And I'll prove to you why it won't die right here. Here's this. What's this? This is vinyl. This is a record. Right now, you can go to Walmart right now and buy new records. Right? This technology did not die. The CD is dead. You can't even find a CD. Cassettes and vinyl still exist. The technology of the movie theater is not going to die. A lot of theaters are, and I've heard rumors that they're going to try to buy the theaters once they died. That's why they're not going to buy AMC. They want the property to sell. They're guerrilla pimps about it. But people are going to still want to see movie theaters. Now, the process that we have, the big budget blockbuster movie theater, that's dead. But there are going to be theaters that provide a cool experience and that people will still go to see classic movies, to see movies that are out on Netflix and, current day movies. The big budget blockbuster is dead. That's gone. There's no way you can spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a movie and get those type of returns. But the smaller movie, you may get more jokers. That only costs like $19 million to make. You can spend $20 million, $25 million on a movie and get $100 million return between streaming and a smaller amount of theaters that will exist. Say, you give the sensation of humanity and heart. Netflix, HBO Max, it's all heartless and robotic. No soul in it. If there's no soul, no love, how can others love it? Exactly. Exactly. So that's why the future is going to be streaming. I think Netflix can be a part of it. Apparently, I'm not going to give the source, but apparently they're talking about doing a YouTube or Twitch esque part of their streaming. They're trying to do if Netflix can compete with YouTube or compete with Twitch or both, and add that element to their platform. That is the future. The people that can combine both, where you have these these entertainers, rather they're independent film creators or big budget film creators, and you can still do this. I can go and see what finished comment is while we're watching. Let's say we were watching what's something. Let's say we were watching Wonder Woman 84. I'm not sure how you feel about it. I'm moderately excited. Let's say we were all watching Wonder Woman 84, commenting and talking about it. You had the options to remove the chat or not. How much of a different experience is that? Because we can't simulate, like you said, there's a sensation about the movie theaters, and there's no way to recreate that. But you have to create something new to draw on. You have to create that new experience. And I feel like streaming, the interactivity that this gives is that new experience, is the future. Eric July is the future. He's coming up with his own platform, right? He does if you don't know who he is, Young Ripper, he does stuff on YouTube, stuff on Twitch. He does music. He's the future because he's going to have his own platform and he's going to use YouTube as, if they want to act like a hoe, they're going to be used as hoes. They're going to become Instagram instead of competing with Netflix is what they should be doing. But they're just going to be used for creators to say, hey, look at me. This is what I provide. Come to my platform, because he's going to have his own platform. Other creators are doing similar things. Finner is the future of the entertainment industry. When he gets his animator, he gets his cartoons going, he's the future of the entertainment industry. Nerdrotic, Doomcock, all the creators you love, they're the future of the entertainment industry. HBO Max wants to put all of his movies on his dead platform and hope they can math it out and get all this money. And by the way, look at I wanted to show. This is this is the current statement. Yeah, this is the current statement. They are going to lose money. This is Netflix's statement. And I know it can be frantic, jumping all over the place, but Netflix is going to lose money next year. They were able to profit. Or is this last year's statement? Yeah, this is. Let me see. I had these up, and no, this is the most recent statement. Had these up, and I wanted to show, because Netflix is the king of the streaming stuff. I wanted to show why this won't work, why this can't work for a company that's $160 billion in debt like AT&T is. The net cash operating income. As productions increasingly start, we expect Q4 20 to be slightly negative. So anytime they have production of their shows, the only reason Netflix profited this year is because they weren't producing shows because of the coup. Let me see. That ain't going to work. They have scripts and restrictions in words, and people can only see one's acting. They're not going to answer to fans and what they want to talk about. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think a platform will spring up eventually. I don't think the platform currently exists that is the future. That's why my point is this is a stopgap. We are in a stopgap in the entertainment industry. We are not yet in the future platform, but I think the future platform will come. But as far as Netflix itself, they only profit when they're not producing movies, because it costs a lot to produce movies and have the infrastructure, the tech infrastructure, and hire the talent to keep everything going. So Q4, which goes into this in the beginning of next year, is going to be negative because they have production going on their shows. They only profited this year because they had no production because of the coup. So this company that is, again, $100+ billion in debt, spent billions and billions on these movies, put all of them onto this platform that only has 8 million people who currently subscribe. They weren't on Roku, even though apparently this is giving us some leverage. Hell, Latino slant. Hell to the great Vigilante. I'm not sure how great I am. I'm trying to be good. But they've put all their eggs on this basket. A basket that the leader Netflix cannot profit if they're producing film. if they're putting money behind film. They cannot profit. I had a past statement. If I look at a past statement from July 20th of last year, July of 19, go to that same sentence or same part. Talk about the competition. I'm trying to find the same part of their breakdown. I think this is further down. I apologize for the skipping around. Where is it? They have a part where they break down basically in words where their profit is. Oh, cash flow. Here we go. Net cash used, year period. Forecasting. Let me see. Negative. I'm trying to see. There's like I'm trying to find out where it says their net, and it's hard reading through this math. So if you're looking at it, it's like it's right there. You're right in front of it. Okay, just talking about FCF. I don't know what FCF stands. Free cash flow. Sorry, this is terrible podcasting. I cannot find a spot on it where it shows their profit. But if you look at it, they have usually a spot that shows that they're in the negative because they operate in the negative. And I'm not as good at reading investor reports as I should be because I'd probably be a lot richer if I was. My point is that Netflix has trouble, as powerful as it is, turning profit. And this is an article that talks about this debt that I wanted to talk about. Cash concern is real. Content may be king, but cash is king in business. Cash is the lifeblood of any company. And this is a 2019 article. This is pre-Coof. Netflix blazes through its cash like a wind-backed fire. It's affected to generate a cash loss of $3.5 billion. That's how much it lost last year when they were producing shows. That's what I was trying to find in that report, and I could not find it. This article does a better job in Forbes. That's what Netflix costs. When it's producing shows, when everything's up and running, it's a negative of $3.5 billion. And they are trying to get to that position. HBO Max is trying to get that position. They are banking their entire company, as far as entertainment, on trying to get to that $3.5 billion loss so they can be the leader like Netflix. How can this work? How does that math? I am not a math major. Please explain how that math. How does this company get out of debt with HBO Max? They don't. They die. They die. Let's get into the...
They are dying.
Let them die.
Yeah, let them die. Because the good news, because I usually end with good news, as I've been alluding to, the good news is as they die, we shall rise. Whether it's this platform, another platform, we will replace them. Because we've already, to a certain extent, when I say we, I mean the YouTube and the Twitch. Think about this. Netflix lost subscribers. Sports is down. And the only thing that was up was the news, the election news cycle, but even that has gotten down because people don't trust the news. So where are people spending their time? They're spending their time playing video games. They're spending their time watching YouTube for the real news, and they're spending their time watching Twitch. They're not spending their time to the same extent. They're still watching Netflix. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them already have Netflix. That's, a part of what's slowed. But the Netflix still lost subs. And that's the leader. That's the king. Everybody else is imitating. I mean, Amazon has a lot of people sub to Amazon Prime, but you can't say they all sub to Amazon Prime for the video. And that's what the entertainment industry is banking its entire profit off of. They're going to die. We will have to be the entertainers of the future. And talked about this in the Dave Chappelle clip that I did, where he talks about how he signed his contract and is it right that he's not going to get his residuals from the Chappelle show. The next generation's Dave Chappelle is not going to have to go through that. He's not going to have to go and sign his rights away. He's going to look on YouTube to figure out how to produce his show. He's going to probably start off as an Instagram or YouTube comedian producing skits. And as he grows, get the budget to do everything he needs to, owning everything. And if he needs to, sells his own DVDs and Blu-rays or whatever he wants to sell, physical media, using YouTube and Twitch as streaming platforms or the new platforms as they come along. That's the future Dave Chappelle. He's not going to have to go through Comedy Central and beg for a spot just to get ripped off by a mega corporation. Like if Phoenix rises from the ashes, when the old form dies, the new form rises. Finner, I could not have put it better myself. And because I can't put it better myself, I think on that note, on that bombshell, I think it's time to end. We are the future. They spit in our faces, but they will scream at, what was it, the Watchmen quote? They will scream at us, asking for help, and we'll whisper down no. That's what we are. And so you supporting small creators like me, you supporting the great Latino Slant, please give him a sub. And Fenner, you should do something. Do something on this platform. Get your because part of I make no bones about this. Part of me being Vigilante Williamson here and doing these videos is I want to do music again. I said that in my little origin story. I want to do music again, and this gives me some sort of an audience. I have more people watching me now than ever cared about my music in the past. And I want people to I want to build up a platform and start producing that and other stuff. I have a lot of other creative things. I want to get into the games. I have game ideas, and I've made a game before, so I want to get back into that. And I'm hoping this platform grows so I can use it for that, because I don't think YouTube is ever going to monetize me. But screw them if they don't. There's other ways around it. But yeah, like Finner said, I think I want to end on this. Like a phoenix from the ashes, when the old form dies, the new rises, and a new entertainment industry will rise. We won't have to deal with all the casting couch dweebs who ruined the old entertainment industry, and won't have to deal with all the wokeness that ruined the old entertainment industry. So if you like this video, if you roll all day with this video like Finner, I know who's a man was chilling out. Slasher McSplitter just chilling. I appreciate you chilling. I appreciate everybody just chilling. If you like the video, please like the video. I always use StreamYard because I'm too much of a boomer to monitor multiple platforms at once. Please like the video. Oh, I still got a chat. Peace, man. Always love these streams. I'm thinking about it starting, but I'm still 18. Got to start slow. Thinking about doing comic book reviews first. Start slow. Definitely start slow. I started slow, and I appreciate the slow growth. I almost don't want this to grow too fast. As much as I boomer things up, that slow growth is cool with me. And I appreciate your support. I'll support you when you get something going. Comic book reviews is a good thing to do, and being 18, young man, that's cool. You got the whole world in front of you, man. Don't let nothing discourage you, brother. So if you like this video, please like the video. If you are so obliged to share, subscribe, I would really appreciate that. If you feel some sort of way, good or bad, about something I say, let me know in the comments below. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching, and thank you for your time. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the rest of it.